Hello there, you're welcome to this very course, the ultimate guide to pricing for graphic designers. So in this course, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about pricing. All right, that's what this course hopes to achieve. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that. Like this video, subscribe, and share this video to other graphic designers out there. All right, so my name is Christian, and I've been tutoring on this channel for quite a number of years now. I'm a graphic designer, I'm a product designer, and I'm a course creator as well. All right, so I think we should begin with the course in earnest. Okay, I've been receiving a lot of messages from you guys, as regards pricing, and I've decided to come up with this course. So please follow through from the beginning to the end, and I am sure you're not going to regret that. Well, I was actually contemplating whether I'll make this course free or make it paid, but for the content of the course, I'm really going to make everything free for you guys. So if you like and you appreciate, you can give a thumbs up, and if you want to support me and support my tutorials, you can as well check the description of the video, and you will see links for that. All right, so we're going to talk more about that later on. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so in this course, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you through the introduction. I'm going to tell you why pricing matters. You're going to understand the Nigerian market if you are in Nigeria, and then we're going to understand pricing models for graphic design. I'm going to show you also the recommended price ranges, all right, that's native to this country, and we're also going to learn how to create rate cards. All right, this is very important. And then we're going to talk about bonuses, packages, and discounts, okay, when that should come in your pricing. And then there are a lot of clients that are very difficult to handle, so we are going to discuss a little about handling difficult clients as well. Then in addition to that, also there are mistakes that a lot of graphic designers make when they are making, when they are doing their pricing, and we're going to talk about that, and then how you can grow your pricing power. Okay, and then we're going to come to conclusion, and then some recommendations are going to follow up as well. All right, so I just had to leave it like this so that you will follow through till the end. Okay, just forget about the slide numbers. All right, okay, so let's go straight to the introduction. At least I've spoken a little about what this course hopes to achieve. Okay, now you can see pricing is one of the most common challenges faced by graphic designers, especially those that are just beginning. All right, so now in my country, like I've told you, I've received a lot of messages. How should I charge for flyer design, especially maybe from newbies or those that just go one or two courses. They want to know how they should charge, what they should charge for particular types of designs. Okay, all right, so for the responses I've been giving most of the times, okay, which is not as holistic as what we are going to do in this particular course. I tell most people charge according to your worth, all right, and that can be bogus. All right, so in this course, I'm going to break everything down, and you're really going to understand everything you need to understand as regards pricing. All right, if you're in Nigeria, in any African country, or any part of the world, these principles are going to work for you anywhere you are. All right, so this is really going to be an eye-opener course, and you're really going to appreciate that. So if you're going to have questions, if you have questions or anything you want me to attend to, make sure you leave it in the description of this particular video. All right, so now that you've understood what this course hopes to achieve, we're going to move to the next point. Now I'm going to tell you why pricing matters. All right, why do you think pricing matters? Okay, the first thing is pricing defines your value in the market. All right, there are people that charge high, for some designs that you can do as well, but you can't attempt to charge as high as that. All right, so now a lot of persons will perceive you based on how you charge. All right, even though there are technical issues around that. Okay, you can't charge high if the value of what you're giving is not actually up to your pricing. All right, we are still going to talk about that. Okay, but pricing really matters because that actually defines your value. It defines how people define you in the market, how people perceive you in the market. All right, so now there's a consequence if your charges or your prices are too low. All right, client will actually undervalue your work. Okay, so that's why I say just make sure your you are giving the right value. All right. The next one, if your pricing or your prices are too high without justification, so it's very important you take note of that phrase, without justification. Okay, if your prices are too high without justification, you are going to lose clients, and that's the truth. But if you are giving the value, all right, that matches your pricing, it's a different case. Okay, so now if your prices are too high without justification, I think there was someone that one of the designers I look up to as well, charges about $1 million for a project. I mean, graphic design, but sometimes you can do, even as a beginner. I don't really understand my point. Okay, even though there is going to be some level of professionalism, but it's not something that's impossible to do, right? Okay, now there's a value that design is bringing to the table. Okay, and that is why he was able to charge as high as that. Okay, so make sure that if you are charging high, just make sure you are giving a value that measures up to that pricing. Now, correct pricing is actually what brings professionalism and sustainability. Okay, that's what brings professionalism and sustainability. We're going to talk about a couple of things here and there as we proceed in this course. Your pricing is not just about money, it's about how clients perceive your skill, how they perceive your experience, and how they perceive your value. So that is why pricing is very, very, very important. So pay keen attention while we go through this course. All right, so let's go straight to the next. So you need to understand the market. Okay, you need to understand the market. You need to understand, before you set your price, you need to understand how the entire market is structured. Now, in the segmentation of the market, we have small businesses, we have startups, we have individuals, all right, and we have corporate organizations, we have NGOs, and all of that. So now, if you look at these segmentations, you will see that small businesses and startups, they have low budgets, kind of low budget, especially individuals also, they have low budgets. And then we have NGOs, and then other entities, they have kind of medium budgets, and corporate organizations have high budgets. All right, so there are a lot of things that affect this pricing. Factors, economic factors, competition, and several other things affect. Now, if you're looking for how you're going to get this material, you can reach out to me. All right, I will give you the material, but that might come with a cost though. I really can't really tell you whether it's going to be free. All right, so just make sure you follow the video. All right, that's the favor I'm doing for you. All right, so you can check that out, or just pause your screen and look at this this slide very well. All right, so don't compare your pricing directly to designers abroad, because you're going to miss out. All right, and don't even compare your pricing to another designer out. That's a mistake some persons make, to another designer out there. All right, even though you can draw inspiration, but there are things that really come together to make people charge the way they charge. So if you don't have those ingredients and you want to charge like them, you're going to run into trouble. That's the truth. Okay, so that's why I want to break this down, so that you really understand how pricing works. Okay, because if you come to my DM, maybe you check my catalog on WhatsApp or maybe on the website or something, and then you want to charge the way I charge, or I look at another designer out there, I want to charge the way he charges, there's really going to be a problem if I don't understand why he charges the way he charges, or if you don't understand why I charge the way I charge. Do you understand my point? All right, so don't do comparison. All right, don't do comparison. There are a lot of things that make for differences in prices, and we're going to look at that shortly as well. All right, so these are factors that influence pricing. All right, so this is what I was talking about. These are factors that influence pricing. The first one is experience and skill level. All right, so when we talk about skill level, we have beginners, we have intermediates, we have experts. All right, that was a time that personally I was a beginner in graphic design. I remember the first time I was paid for a design. The first design I did, that was back then in 2013 or so. All right, the first design I did, I was not paid for it. In fact, I did it on my own volition for a friend's sister's birthday. So I just decided to work on something, and when I took it to, I was really learning on the Blossom Computer Institutes and Institutes. Okay, so I took it to my boss. I want to print this. He's the one in charge of the institute, and he said, "Wow, say Chris, this is Color Riot. He charged me, I think, 250 naira. I think I've said this before. If you participate in my classes, he charged me 200. And as at 2013, 250 was not a small money for someone like me then. Yeah, it was really something huge then for someone like me. All right, at that level. So I couldn't print it, and I was so disappointed. All right, that was a level. All right. But with time, I graduated from that particular skill level to another skill level. I became an intermediate designer, and from there, you transit to become an expert. Okay, now it takes intentional efforts for these transitions to happen. So please make sure you are intentional about your skill, make sure you're intentional about your growth, and make sure you are intentional about everything, actually, at your experience level, everything. That factor, that intentionality is very important, and these are just the 3 skill levels we have. So, and that is one of the things that influence pricing. So, for me, the way I would charge for a particular design, a newbie designer may not be able to charge like that. Okay, and that's because of experience. Okay, experience can affect that. That's what I'm trying to say. Then another thing that influences pricing is complexity of the project. All right, so for example, if someone comes for a branding package, okay, do branding for this particular company of mine or stuff like that, you don't expect the pricing to be as the same as a simple flyer design. All right, so complexity of the project also affects pricing or influence pricing. And then time invested. All right, time invested in a particular project, that's the third one. Time invested also affects pricing. All right, and then client type can also affect pricing. All right, so for example, just imagine Apple invites you to design a flyer for them, and then maybe a startup organization or an individual told you, maybe invited you, or maybe gives you a task. There's huge difference, huge gap in the type of client, and that can also, that I'm not saying it's always, it can also influence pricing as well. All right, so and then the market demand also influence pricing. Like the example I cited below here, a beginner may charge 3,000 to 5,000 for a flyer, while an experienced designer can charge 15,000 to 50,000, depending on the client. Do you see? So that's how this thing works. So these are some of the things that influence pricing. You may have others, but these are the major ones that influence pricing. And then pricing models for designers. All right, so these models, right, there are no hard rules to them. So you have hourly pricing, you have project-based pricing, and then you have value-based pricing. So when you're charging per hour, this actually works best for clients overseas. All right, maybe in the United States or maybe in some other developed countries. They charge per hour. So someone can say, for an hour you're going to pay me $100, you're going to pay me $50, you're going to pay me $200, depending on the experience level, skill level of that particular designer. All right, so as the project goes on, the hours are being calculated and you are being paid based on those hours. And then project-based pricing. When you talk about project-based, these are fixed prices for entire project. All right. So if you're going to do a flyer, if you're going to do a logo, if you're going to do a website design, I do website designs too. I do mobile apps designs as well. So if you're going to do any of those, you can charge for the entire project. So this is different. All right. So if someone says do a flyer design, whether you spend an hour, 2, 3, or a whole day, it doesn't really matter when you are focusing on this model of pricing. All right, so this pays you for the project, and this is actually the model that people, big designers in Nigeria use. All right, this is one of the this is most common, all right, in Nigeria. All right, I don't know about your country. All right, so you can pick any of the models that works best for you. And then we have also value-based pricing. This is practice for designers with higher level of experience. All right, so as you gain experience, you can actually combine value-based pricing and project-based pricing if you're based in Nigeria, or you can also try out hourly pricing if that works for you, but I've told you already the ones that are most common. Okay, For value-based pricing, you charge based on the value of your design. That's the value of your design brings on the table for the clients. Okay, so if it's for a company, if you're going to launch something, if it's for an advert that is really going to impact the company, you can really let that influence your pricing at that particular moment. All right, so now we are going to look at recommended price ranges in Nigeria. So this 2025 and 2026, right, depending on the economic situation and the evolution, that happens in the industry, this price ranges can change. All right, these are suggestions, so you can always adjust them based on your skill, based on the demand and the client type. All right, so I've lost some clients because of pricing. All right, and I've kept others. All right, so now that's why pricing is very important. So do well to adjust them accordingly, according to your demand. According to the demand, according to your skill level, and also client type, possibly. All right, so now for flyer designs in Nigeria currently, you can charge between 5,000. As a beginner, you can charge between 5,000 to 30,000. All right. Logo design, you can charge between 15,000 to 150,000. And this also depends on, like I've said, it depends on your skill level. And this is not a there are no hard rules to this. You can pick between the ranges depending on your skill level. All right, so as a beginner, if you charge 5,000 for a design, it's not bad at all. If you charge between 5,000 to 10,000, it's not bad at all. All right, so for you to get to the threshold of 30,000, it then means you must have advanced. All right, or you must have gotten some level of experience. All right, for me, I charge from 15,000. All right, that is how I charge, from 15,000. Okay. That's for a flyer design. And then for social media graphics, per post you can charge 3,000. Well, 3,000, I can't remember the last time I collected 3,000 for a flyer. But depending on the I think we saw earlier, depending on the complexity of the project, you can actually let that influence your price. So if it's a very simple stuff you can do in minutes, you can maybe take that, depending also on the volume. All right, on the volume. I think someone came to me back then, a company, to design flyers, and I think it's a health brand. They were in, the numbers were much, so I had to reduce the price for them. Okay, and then charge them per design. And because the number was much, I had to reduce the price, and they paid some amount of money, right? Okay, so you can do that for social media posts. For me, social media, whether social media, flyer design, whatever, any flyer design, I have a standard price, and that's from 10 to 15,000. That's for me. Okay, and as I keep evolving, the prices are going to shift. All right, so just look at the range, and if you're just starting out, make sure you pick the first threshold. That is the first point of the range. So like for flyer design, you're saying 5,000 to 30,000. You can start with 5,000, or you can even start with 3,000. All right, don't let anyone pressure you. Okay, this tutorial is not actually to also pressure you to raise your prices. That's why I'm showing you what influence pricing. All right, so you can charge from 5,000, 7,000, 7,500, 9,500, 10,000, depending on your skill level. All right, so depending on your skill. So I will advise you, if you're just starting out, don't raise your prices too high. All right, because if you're starting out, the truth of the matter is probably the professional feel of that flyer may not, the flyer may not be as good as someone that has been in the field, I don't know, for a long time. Do you understand my point? All right, so don't scare people away if you are just starting out. For example, if I'm doing design for someone and I give you a price, as it is currently, as I'm doing this video, if I give you a price, and if you are not willing to pay, like if you are not able to pay that price, or if you feel it's too much for you, I won't waste my time. Seriously, I won't waste my time, because if I have to buy time to do particular, I have a lot of other things I can do. I don't know, to cover up for that. Okay, so my clients are selected as it stands, and that is how it is for most professionals out there. They don't do designs for everybody that goes to them. Meanwhile, sometimes you can, all right, depending on maybe how busy you are, at that particular day or time. Do you understand my point? So for you, if you're just starting out, don't scare people away with prices. So that's why I gave ranges, so that you can pick the one that best suits you. All right, so for brand identity package, that's logo, business card, letterhead, and all of that, people charge between 50,000 to 300,000 plus. So it can be more than that. It also depends on your skill level, the client type, the demand, and all of that. All right, there are people that, you know, that pay you even more than what you would demand for. All right, so for UI UX design, mobile apps, depending on the complexity of the application, you can charge between 100,000 to a million naira. And then website design, you can charge 150,000, million naira plus, and all of that. So one of the tips I'll give you, like I've said before, if you are setting your prices, always consider bulk discounts. For example, if you're going to do 10 flyer in one package, you could maybe charge 50,000. You could charge maybe 40,000. You can just discount depending on the bulk of the project. I mean, how, you know, I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, so if you're going to charge for a flyer, it's going to be different from if you're going to charge for 10 flyers at a time. Do you understand my point? So you can as well do that to really, you know, attract more customers as well. All right, so now I'm going to talk about a rate card. I'm going to talk about how to create rate card. Okay, this is very important. A rate card is a professional document that shows your services and prices. Your services and prices. Okay, so you can create a rate card. Design a rate card that has list of all your services. Now these are the steps. You list your services, you assign price ranges. Okay, flyer design between 5,000 to 30,000 or 50,000, depending on your skill level, like I've said. And then after that, you include ads on, like, okay, these are the files you're going to receive, these are the number of revisions that are guaranteed here, such that if someone asks for more revisions, you might need to charge additional payment. And then you make it, just try to make it very appealing visually and make it easy to also understand. All right, so these are some of the price ranges that you can have on your rate card. So how do you get an idea of? I can share my own personal concept with you, but if you go online, you are going to find a lot of different concepts. You can pick a particular, for example, you go to maybe Pinterest.com and you search for rate card for graphic designers. Just search for rate card for graphic designers, and you are going to see a whole lot of them. They are going to give you different types of rate cards, and then you can use this model. You can use these steps here to really create and arrange your own and make it really unique. You can pick a particular one that appeals to you and create yours using that visual style. I don't know if you understand. I'm not saying you should copy directly, but you can do that to really guide how you create yours, and then you use the information here, and that's going to be perfect. Okay, now that we have understood this, we are really going to move from this. Now, for rate cards as well, please, if you're a graphic designer, just make sure you have WhatsApp business. Make sure you have WhatsApp business. For me personally, I can't. It's been a while. I don't really use normal WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp business, and I love their, you know, the way the catalog is structured. You can really upload your designs there, put your rates there, and all of that. So there's a way you can structure that as well on your catalog. Okay, now that we have done this, now we're going to talk about discounts. We're going to talk about bonuses and packages. Like I've said, you should offer discount for bulk projects, and then you can create packages. All right, so flyers plus logo, this and this, 5 flyers plus logo. We are going to do a discount, and it's just going to be 60,000 instead of maybe 150,000, instead of maybe 100,000, depending on the package you want to create. There's there are a lot of packages you can create out there, and then you can reward loyal clients with bonuses. All right, so I think I told one of my clients a week ago, there are times I can create for you, and I may just allow you to go for free. All right, and that's like a way of rewarding them. Or you could make a very huge discount for people that always bring you work. Please treat your clients well. All right, especially if your client likes your work and is always coming back to you, as a designer. Make sure you treat clients well, especially those that also treat you well. You understand my point? Even if they don't treat you well, if they bring work for you, over and over, reward those clients, okay, with specific discounts from time to time, depending on the frequency, and then just like that, yeah, with special packages. That's what I'm trying to say. And then, but you have to avoid giving unnecessary discounts that devalue your work. Don't give unnecessary discounts, even though we are saying that you should give discount. So I have to tell you this: don't give unnecessary discounts. Okay, I believe this is clear enough. So handling difficult clients. We all have been here, and I don't know whether you have been here, whether you're a beginner, especially if you're an intermediate designer or experienced designer. You are going to know that there are some clients that are very, very, very difficult. Okay, some of these clients can be low budget clients. All right, there are some if I just tell them the price, they say, are you kidding me? Are you joking? I said, we don't joke here. Like, there's no jokes. Do you understand my point? So we have low budget clients. Okay, they'll come. Okay, if you say flyer design is maybe 7,500 or 10,000, they'll say, I have someone that will do it for me 2,000. I have someone that you just go to the person. Do you understand my point? All right. So there are people like that. Okay. So how to handle them? We are going to talk about them, and then negotiators. We have negotiators as well. People that negotiate prices. So sometimes you say this. I think I had that recently. We had to talk, and I had to, eventually we couldn't agree. Do you understand my point? And then, all right. So let's just also talk about how you are going to handle these people. Low budget clients. How do you handle them? You can have packages that are small. That also I give range. All right. So I have packages that are small. So if a low budget clients come, you can give the high range or a medium range of your price range for that particular package. All right. So if you need to bring it down, you can. All right. Just make sure that you have a threshold where you don't go below. All right. So, and that also will help negotiators as well. And then payment terms. All right. So this payment term is very important. You can see that it's highlighted. Just make sure you request for upfront. For me, I request for 50% to 100% upfront deposit. So that's before I start a project, and it's experience that actually taught me that. Do you understand? So you can also try to see how you can model this style as well. All right. So for contracts, make sure you use agreements to protect yourselves from, a lot of other persons. Some clients actually can use you if you don't protect yourself. Okay. Now, these are some of the mistakes you need to avoid in design generally. All right. So that's in pricing. All right. So in pricing, avoid these mistakes. Don't copy others blindly. Like I've said before, if you do copy others blindly, you might fall into a problem. Okay. And then the second thing is, don't undervalue your work. All right. So your design is valuable. So don't undervalue your work. So if you have set a price range, okay, my designs are from this range to this range, make sure you keep to it, and make sure you don't go below the lowest threshold. And then if you are going to revise works for clients, make sure you add extra charges. Make sure you have that at the back of your mind. Add extra charges depending on, for me, if I'm going to design, let's say, a logo, part of the package is I'm going to do a revision of that logo if you're not satisfied with the first entry. So anything more than that, you are going to be charged for it. So, and that's how it should be. So if you are not consistent also with your pricing, it's going to be a problem. That's another thing to avoid when you're pricing in design. All right. So the heading is mistakes to avoid in pricing. pricing in design. All right, so now so like I've said, your design is valuable, and don't ignore the value your design brings. All right, so if you understand those, you are really going to do well. So avoid those points I've mentioned. Then how are you going to grow your pricing power? How do you grow your pricing power? Like I've told you many years ago, I couldn't have charged as I am charging currently, and that is because of several factors. Okay, so how do you, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate designer, how do you grow your pricing power? The first thing you need to know is you need to invest in skill development. All right, I've taken a lot of classes from the time I started till now. Okay, and I'm also investing heavily in the development of my skill. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know, and I had to highlight it because it's something you need to take note of. And then build a strong portfolio. This is how you also grow your pricing power. Okay, build a strong portfolio. All right, I'm also working on updating my portfolio. All right, thinking about that, and I've actually done one recently. So you have to make sure your portfolio is strong enough so it also gives you an edge in the markets. Then position yourself as an expert through social media and community contributions. All right, so whether your posts are liked in a particular community or not, make sure you contribute actively to people's posts. Wow, this design is nice. What if you make it this way? All right, and once you make a design, post in those communities as well. So whether on WhatsApp, on any social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, any community you are, make sure you contribute, position yourself in those groups as experts, and it's really going to help you a lot, and it's going to help you to grow your pricing power. And then collaborate with agencies. And the last one is move from local to international clients for better rates. All right, so you can also search out for international clients, and that's really going to help you push your pricing power up. I have a friend that utilizes this last option. All right, so now the conclusion of the matter is pricing is both an art and a strategy. All right, so if you're an engineering designer, your ability to set fair, consistent, and professional rates will determine your growth sustainability in this industry. Always remember, start where you are. Remember, grow your skill. Remember this, adjust your rates as your value increases. Like I've told you, my rates are not always the same. They have moved from one level to the other. And that's because I've been able to grow my skills, I'm growing my skills, and my value is also increasing. The third is create a rate card. Also, communicate your worth with confidence. Your pricing reflects your value, so price like a professional. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the next step. Like I've told you already, you're going to invest in skill development. The next step you're going to do, you build a strong portfolio, and after that, create a rate card. After that, create a rate card. All right, so if you want to invest in skill development, whether you're using laptop or you're using your smartphone for design, there are some recommendations I'm going to make for you here. And the first one is the recent course I just launched, smartphone graphic design mastery course with Pixellab. All right, so if you're using your smartphone, this is actually a course that you would want to take. It's mind-blowing. I'm serious, and for those that have taken it will really understand the value of this course, and it's really on more than 50% discount, and you can get it through the link here, or you check the description of the video, and you're going to get this from the store as well. The next course recommendation is the 5-in-1 smartphone graphic design course. This is also for those using smartphone design. I recommend this course and the other one. All right, so a lot of persons, more than 150 or so, have taken this course. All right, so you can be the next to take the course. It's also on a very huge, about 50% discount as well, and you can check that out here through the link here as well. The next recommended course is CorelDRAW advertisement flyer video course. So this teaches you how to create flyers. All right, how to create flyers for marketing. All right, so it teaches you how to do that with CorelDRAW. All right, teaches you how to do that with CorelDRAW, and you can get the course very cheap, and you can learn at your pace. You can learn you know, at your time. You can learn with ease, and this is also one of the courses I recommend for you. And then other courses are coming up as well, so Photoshop design course and all of that. So just check the description of the video. You are going to find access, you know, you're going to find a link that will lead you to the store, several stores of Flutterwave, or Paystack, or Seller, where you can get access to some of these resources. And like I've said, don't forget to invest heavily in your skill development, and this is an opportunity for you to do that. And that's why I've made these courses highly affordable for you, so that you don't miss out. All right, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sticking with me to this time. You're a real champ. All right, so if you want to reach out to me to get maybe the material, to get additional materials, or to get any of these courses, you can use a phone number on the screen, or you can mail me through the address showing on your screen as well. All right, so if you want to get any of the courses I've recommended, you can check the description of the video. You're going to find a link to my store on Seller, Flutterwave, or Paystack. You can get any of those courses for yourself, and you're not going to regret it. And the sweetest part of it is I'm really going to take you as my student. I'll add you to my community, where we will grow together and we'll have more time together. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, this is the best time for you to do that. So subscribe and share this video if you really do enjoy this video. Just give a thumbs up. You can ask your questions in the description of, in the comment section, and share the videos to others out there to really benefit from what you've benefited from. Thank you, and see you next time.